Now let's cut to the postgame interview with Johnny and Eric.
In your opinion, what are the top 5 above-the-line ads offered on-site in Phoenix?
In my opinion, the first and best ad offered on-site in Phoenix would be the giant Lombardi trophy. It kind of just stood out to me and people my age because that's the symbol of the football. That's the ultimate prize. That's what you want to get. Number 2 would be the giant Visit Phoenix football. Just because it was placed there a few months before, it just created hype about the game. It reminded the people of Phoenix and the people outside of Phoenix that I should be there for the Super Bowl. I should go see it. And third would be the MVP truck giveaway, because Chevy uses their advertisements by just giving the MVP a truck. Most guys this age want to drive a nice truck like that, want a brand new truck. They just can't afford it. You want to take the rest?
You know, what I think probably for the fourth best would probably have to do with the Bud Light advertisement behind the giant Roman letter numerals for the Super Bowl in downtown Phoenix. I mean, when people took pictures of those giant Roman numerals, you had the exact Bud Light ad there. Their Down for Whatever campaign. The fifth one I'd probably have to say where it was the giant print ad of the halftime Pepsi ad. That kind of just was towards for women and people who specifically watch Super Bowl for the halftime show.
What are the bottom 5 on-site examples of advertising in Phoenix, and why did they miss the mark with Gen Y segments?
The bottom 2, in my opinion, would have to be the billboard and the blimp, mostly because they're outside of the stadium and kind of too far from Phoenix. They kind of missed the mark because they really served no purpose. The third one I'd say would be the DirecTV viewing deck, because everything you needed for Super Bowl Sunday wasn't exactly for DirecTV, it was on cable.
The next 2, definitely the blue gorilla put on by Bud Light. I mean, the gorilla itself has no relevancy to Bud Light other than it being blue. And then Bud Light's bar top that just advertised their cans and stuff like that. When you're at a bar watching Super Bowl, you're not going to be looking at the bar top. You're going to be watching the game. You're going to be watching the people. It's not relevant.
What are the top 5 above and below the line advertising examples offered during the Super Bowl 49 game day broadcasts? And if you could, please highlight why they had relevancy for Gen Y segments.
For above the line, definitely Budweiser. It brought an emotional connection with the dog, and it just brought back the Clydesdales, which everyone's looking to see. For Mountain Dew, their Kickstart commercial was great because it brought back the commercials that we all love to see of just total randomness and chaos. And it just advertised for itself well. And the third one would be Esurance Breaking Bad ad, because using Walter White in there was great because everyone knows who he is. What about below the line?
McDonald's and Mercedes did a good job below the line. They both invited fans to kind of interact with their ads and kind of tweet for McDonald's to win prizes, and for Mercedes to see who would win the race between the hare and the rabbit.
One more question?
What were the bottom 5 worst commercials during the Super Bowl?
Well, hands down, the worst commercials nationwide. They played off the shock factor of a child dying, and no one really wants to be thinking about their kid dying, especially when they're trying to have fun, watch Super Bowl. On top of, just kind of bad commercials that you don't want to see, Weight Watchers played off the fact that people were eating a lot and eating too much, and that's exactly what you do during the Super Bowl is you kind of pig out. Jublia was talking about foot fungus, and once again, no one wants to hear about foot fungus while they're trying to enjoy themselves.
When you think about Super Bowl commercials, you think of something new and something entertaining. With commercials like Geico with their salt and pepper commercial and Skechers Pete Rose commercials, it's commercials we've been seeing, commercials that are kind of played out, and something that just I missed the mark.
And now back to our live on-field analysis.
So Eric, how do you think the Super Bowl can better advertise next year?
Well, I think if they focus on a lot of social media advertising, just get social media involved, and you get yourself trending online, then the consumers will do the work for you by sharing, liking, and tweeting your product.
Richard Sherman, why do you think the Super Bowl is the best event to advertise?
When you have a bunch of sorry-ass events, you don't reach 114 million viewers.
Wait, did he say ass? Cut, cut.